Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. We're taking a look today, continuing the season preview series here for the 2021 NHL season. Taking a look today at the Detroit Red Wings as the Yzer plan enters year number 3. We'll be taking a look at the Red Wings in today's video. So let's get right into it. So we're going to take a look at some of the subtractions from the Detroit Red Wings since last season. Luke Glendening left the team through free agency. Richard Panik was traded to the New York Islanders, but they did bring in Nick Leddy, which we'll get into that in the addition. So Luke Glendening and Richard Panik are really the additions they lost on the forward side of things, and they let go of Jonathan Bernier, who was traded in the Alex Nedeljkovic trade to Carolina. Carolina didn't end up keeping Bernier. He ends up going to Jersey, but Jonathan Bernier was the piece that moved out in between the pipes. So those were really the losses that the Red Wings had that were really anything of significance. Now, they did lose some guys. I forgot his name. But they did lose that depth power forward guy. I forgot his name. He ended up leaving the team. But other than that, there really wasn't much of a difference. And you look at their additions, they have a couple of pretty nice additions. You look at Pia Suter, who comes in, a great addition. Oh, and I also have to add through expansion draft, they lost Dennis Cholowski. I forgot about that part. Pia Suter comes in through free agency. The Chicago Blackhawks didn't tender him a qualifying offer and just said, yeah, see you later. Now, he's also a New York Islander prospect back in the day. He ends up going to Chicago. Puts together a pretty nice season last year. I think he had, 25, 30 points? Pretty impressive stuff. He could be a top 6 center in the NHL for the Detroit Red Wings next season. Mitchell Stephens, another center they added from the Tampa Bay Lightning, a former draft pick of Steve Yzerman in Tampa. So that makes sense. Pretty interesting pickup there. And a lot of people like Mitchell Stephens. So could be a nice add there. They also added Nick Leddy ahead of the expansion draft. The Islanders knew they would lose Nick Leddy. So they sent him to Detroit. And the Red Wings gave up a second, a fifth, and Richard Panik or something like that. So Nick Leddy is now on the back end for the Detroit Red Wings. Now you look at, they also added Jordan Osterley, a little bit of depth on the blue line as well. He came over from Edmonton. He's played in Chicago. He's been a little bit all over in Arizona. So hopefully he gets an opportunity with the Red Wings, has some depth. And obviously they add Alex Nedeljkovic, whatever you want to call him. They add him from the Carolina Hurricanes for a second-round pick, which is a steal. That really was a steal of a trade. So what do the Red Wings look like going into this year? That's a great question. So looking at their cap hit, they still have $18.4 million in cap space. And they have signed everybody but one of their players. That was weird saying that. But Phillip Peronic, the 23-year-old right shot defenseman. I'm sure by the time this video goes up, Peronic will have gone through arbitration because we're right in that window the second week of August where arbitrations are being held. But Phillip Peronic will probably get that contract. But they have a lot of interesting moving pieces, specifically on the back end. They have a lot of guys on one-year deals. You have Nick Leddy, Danny DeKeyser, Mark Stahl, Troy Stecher, all on one-year deals. So it makes you wonder, what is the long-term situation on the blue line? Is it going to be Simon Edvinsson, Moritz Seider next year? And they'll figure out of these guys who they want to keep. That could be the situation. So, and then on the forward side of things, I mean, Franz Nielsen's money comes off the books, so that's nice. Again, I loved him on the Islanders, but the Red Wings gave him a lot of money, $5.25. He's 37. Philip Zadina up for another contract next year. Robbie Fabry, Vlad Nemesnikov. Those are some pretty big names for the Detroit Red Wings on the forward side of things that need new contracts next year. So we'll see what happens there. And then looking at their lineup, you got Tyler Bertuzzi, Dylan Larkin, and Jacob Vrana. Now that Jacob Vrana is re-signed, you don't have to worry about that whole situation. Second line actually looks pretty solid. You have Robbie Fabry, who they picked up for bits and pieces from the Blues, Pia Suter, and Philip Zadina. So, again, a pretty solid second line. Third line, Nemesnikov, Rasmussen, and Gagne. And to round out the depth, you got Giovanni Smith, Mitchell Stephens, and Adam Erne round out your fourth line, which that's a pretty solid fourth line. And again, a very Steve Yzerman built bottom six. Then you look at the defense, Danny DeKeyser. I'm sure Red Wings fans are just So excited for Danny DeKeyser's contract to end this next summer in 2022. They still have him as the top pairing defenseman. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Phillip Peronic, who they still have to re-sign, Nick Leddy, and Moritz Seider. So we may see some Seider action going on in Detroit this year. Mark Stahl and Troy Stetcher round out the defense. And then you have Alex Nedeljkovic and Thomas Greiss as your starting goalie tandem, which I think is just very, very good. I think Thomas Greiss is one of those goalies. He was very reliable on the Islanders, a great 1B. And now Nedeljkovic will get his opportunity where he really wasn't given that chance with just so many goaltenders that were in Carolina before they brought in Anderson and Ronta. Even then, he just wasn't going to get that fair shake like he will in Detroit. I think that was a great, great move. Now, the problem for the Detroit Red Wings is, do they make the playoffs? That's the big question for Detroit. And for me to sit here and say today that I'm confident that they are better than the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Boston Bruins, I don't see it. There's 4 teams ahead of them. Plus, you have the teams in the Metro. If you're talking about wild card, right, you have the Islanders, the Rangers, the Devils, maybe not the Devils. I'll take that one back. The 2 New York teams, the 2 Pennsylvania teams, the Washington Capitals, the Carolina Hurricanes. That's 6 teams right there. So I see easily 10 teams in that Eastern Conference that are better than the Detroit Red Wings. And the thing is, I think they'll do better than they did last season, of course, but I think they'll do better than Buffalo. I could make an argument they'll be better than Ottawa. But what does that really mean? That's third best. That's third worst in your division still, which means you probably missed the playoffs. I just don't think they're ready yet. And the problem is, too, unless Pia Suter is a absolute monster, shutdown, second line center, they're lacking that center depth still. And that's what a lot of Red Wings fans are a little bit frustrated with. They need that center depth. So I don't think it's necessarily they're in a bad spot, but I would like to see them, and even their goaltending. I mean, like I said, I like Greiss, I like Nedeljkovic. They're going to be better than last year, but considering how bad they've been for the past 2 years and trying to tank, it's going to take time. And I think Yzerman realizes that this is going to probably take at least another year. And in 2 years from now, maybe you catch the Boston Bruins maybe slipping a little bit, right, as they get older. Tampa, we don't know what's going to happen, but the salary cap has to come up at some point in Tampa and kind of end up blowing things apart. And you could kind of say the same thing about Toronto. How much longer is the Maple Leafs window? So those 3 teams at the top, 3 of the 4 teams, you could argue may not be there in 2 years from now. And it may give Detroit the opportunity to maybe slide into the playoffs. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Detroit Red Wings? Are they a playoff team? Will they get the first overall pick? Will they tank for Shane Wright? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.